Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is this absolutely precious guardian angels. Are these not the cutest things? So what I've done is I've crocheted a dress and wings, and then we put that on a wooden clothespin that has a little stand down here. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. And then we make a little halo and we glue that to the head, and then we attach a little card that says, "Your guardian angel. You may see me as huge or you may see me as small. I'm right by your side and will hear when you call. I'm loyal and true. You can trust me to care. I'm your guardian angel. I'll always be there." Isn't that cute? I love these little things. Would these not make the greatest little gifts? I think they're just so cute. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need. Let me get all of these moved to the side. I'll leave that one there. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is crochet thread. So I have, this is Aunt Lydia's. Sounds like my husband's home. This is Aunt Lydia's classic crochet thread, size 10, and that color is bright coral. And then for this white one, it actually has a strand of tinsel running through it. I actually got this from Hobby Lobby. I always try to keep all these labels inside. This is what it is. There's that. And that's pretty much all that all the info that comes with it. Now, I'll put a link in the description box for it, but you can also use white, just white Aunt Lydia's size 10. And that's for the wings and the border down here. And then, sorry about that, I had to go get my ribbon. You're going to need 1/8 inch white ribbon. Now I just got this from Walmart, but I'll put a link in the description box for you guys. Then you're going to need a 2mm crochet hook. And then I used these little card sleeves and my hole puncher to make the part on the back, and then just get you a little safety pin. I'll put a link in the description box for these card sleeves that I used. I got those off of Amazon. And lastly, well, no, not lastly, second to lastly, you're gonna need this little base and then the little wooden clothespin. And I'll put a, really, church, move, lay down, go this way. You're plopping all over everything. Go, lay down, just there, just like that. Okay, back to what I was doing. I will put a link in the description box for these. It comes in a pack, and you get several of them. I just put them in my Ziploc bag. But it's this little base with the clothespin. And it's just like that. And then the last thing you're going to need is a little bit of Fabric-Tac, or you can use hot glue, you can use whatever you want. The only thing that we use for that, reason we use that, is that's how we attach the halo to the head. Stop it. Let's see, what else do I want to tell? Oh, you're going to need a little needle to weave in your ends, and then you're going to need a larger needle, like a yarn needle, and that's what we use to weave that ribbon around the clothespin and tie a little bow. Okay, now I did print my little poem off. You can write it and put it in your little sleeve. That'd be cute too, just to write it, be more handmade. Let's see what else. Dun, 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 dun. I think that's it. All right, so you guys get your supplies together and let's get started. All right, to get started, get a slip knot on your hook, and we're going to chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, and we're going to bring this down. I'm going to bring the very first chain around to my very last chain, and we're going to slip stitch right into the top of that. Just like that. So our tail's to the inside of our ring, and we're going to chain 1. Okay, so into the very first chain, which is the same one we just slip stitched into, we're going to work 2 double crochet. So yarn over, go in, we're going to work 1 and 2, 1. Alright, so there's 2 double crochet into our first chain, so I'm going to go ahead and give that tail a little bit of a tug just to close up that chain so it's not so gappy. And we're going to work 2 double crochet into that very next chain. So right there. One, 2. Okay. I'm marking off where we are on my pattern so I don't lose track. All right, into the next chain, we are going to work 7 double crochet. Now we're going to be packing a few in there, so what you want to do is pinch that very next chain so we don't lose it in the double crochets that we're getting ready to pack into that chain, okay? So I just pinch right there and hold on to that and work 7 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still holding on to this one. Here is 6. Oops, dang it, I lost that one. 6 and 1 more. For 7. And now we can unpinch that next chain, and we're going to work 4 double crochet into that one. So right in there. 1, 2, 3, 1 more, and 4. Now we're going to work 2 double crochet into the next 6 chains. So we have that very next one. 1, 2. In there. There's the second chain that gets 2 doubles. Third chain right here that's gonna get 2 doubles. What did I say? That was 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, so here's 4. Here's 5. And the last one here is 6. Get in there. Nope, that wasn't right. Do it again. And 2. All right, I am going to, I'm going to double check here to make sure I worked 2 double crochet into 6 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next one should have had 4, and then 7. Okay, so we're good. All right, get back on my hook. All right, we're gonna work 4 double crochet into that next chain. So I am gonna pinch this next chain so I don't accidentally lose it or it gets stretched or anything. Right in there. 1, 2, 3, and one more is 4. Okay, so we should have 3 chains left, so that very next chain is going to get our 7 double crochet. So once again, make sure you guys pinch that second to last chain. Pinch that so you don't lose that, because we need that chain. So this next chain is going to get 7 doubles, and I can tell it's a little wonky looking. There, nope, didn't get it. There, I got it. So 7 double into there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and one more. Dang it. One more is 7 there. Sorry, I had to do that off camera, looking at my actual work and not through my camera because I couldn't see it very well. Okay, so now we got 2 chains left. So these last 2 chains get 2 double in each one. Right. Come on. Nope. I only want 1 loop. There. 2 double into the second to last. And then 2 double into that right there, very last chain. It helps me if I look off camera. There we go. So here and there. Okay, so now let's count what we have. We should have something that looks similar to this and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. All right, I am going to double check that off camera and I will be right back. Okay, good deal. That is right. 42 double crochets. So now I am going to get my loop back on my hook, my working yarn, and we're going to slip stitch to that very first double crochet. So if you look, right here is our chain 1, and right here is the top of our first double. So that's what we want to slip stitch into, is the very first double. So get in there with the slip stitch. And chain 1. And now we're going to double crochet right back into that very first double crochet that we just slip stitched into. So yarn over and go right back in there and work your double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 5 double crochet in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we are going to skip 10 double crochet, and I am going to mark our 11th, and you don't have to do that. The reason I'm doing it is so I don't get lost in my thread, and looking through a camera is not the easiest. So I'm going to count 10 and mark the 11th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to mark the 11th. Alright, so get my needle, what? My hook back on my thread. I'm going to give this a little bit of a tug so that double crochet stands up that I need to work into. And we're going to skip 10 and double crochet into the next 12. So I'm going to yarn over. Now when we skip these 10, we want to push it towards us and like fold it in half, just like this. Okay, so I'm skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going into the 11th with a double crochet. Now I'm going to double check I've skipped 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, good job. Alright, now I've double crocheted into the 11th, so now we're going to double crochet into the next 11. So we should have a total of 12 double crochet right here, okay? So we already have 1, so here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, dang it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish these 12 off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got those 12 doubles done. We have our skipped 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So what we're going to do now is skip 10 and then double crochet into the last 5. So just pinch it in half. And the easiest way that I do this is I come and I see right there's my first double, so I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th to the end, double crochet into there. Why are you not focusing? Double crochet into the 5th from the last and into the next 4. 1, or yeah, 2, 3, and 4. And now what I'm going to do is stop. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I'll just count to make sure I've got 10 skipped right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good deal. So now we have our wings formed. And now you should have, let's go ahead and count. We have our slip stitch, chain 1, first double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 double crochet. Turn my pattern page. You guys can see all my mess ups. And we are going to move on to round 3. Well, before we move on to round 3, we are going to get our hook back on our work and slip stitch into that very first double crochet right here. Right there's your chain 1, and there's your little slip stitch, and right here is your first double. So go right in there with a slip stitch and chain 1. Alright, now what we're going to do is we are going to work V stitches, and these V stitches, all it is a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. I need to make sure that's right. I'm sorry, I bumped my camera. Yep, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So anytime I say V stitch, we're going to work 1 double, chain 2, 1 double, okay? So to move on to round 3, we chained 1, and we're going to go right back into that double that we slip stitched into with a V stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, go right in there, chain 2, go right back in there with a double. Now we are going to skip 2 double, we're going to skip the next 2, and then we're going to V stitch into the next 3. Alright, so skip 2, V stitch into the next 3. This is so hard to film with thread. Try it again. Skip 2, V stitch into the next 1, 2, right back in there, into the next 3. So here's the second. Grrr. Chain 2, back down there. There's 2 V stitches, got 1 more. Chain 2, right back down in there. Alright, so now we only skip 1 double crochet, so only skip that 1, and V stitch into the next 3. Remember, skip, V stitch, V-stitch into the next, two, untangle my thread here, right into the next one for 3, chain 2, ah dang it, alright, so there's our 3. We're going to skip 1 and V-stitch into the next 3 again. So skip, V-stitch, chain 2, there's 1, V-stitch into the next, so we've got, there's that 1 that we skipped. We've done 1, 2, we got 1 more to go. Right in there. There. Now we're going to skip 2, V-stitch into the next 1, 2, 3. Okay? Skip 2. There's 1 into the next. There's 2 into the next with the 3rd. Okay? Alright, now we are going to skip 1 and V-stitch into the last 2. Oh, I forgot to chain 2. Go in there. So 1 and chain 2. Go back in there. Alright, so now we pull up a loop and take our hook off. We should have 15 chain 2 spaces, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good deal. Get my hook back on here, and we're going to slip stitch to the first double, and it's laying sideways right at us. Right there is the first double. Right there, the little bitty chain 1, and here's the slip stitch on the chain 1. We are going to go right into there with a slip stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch right into that first chain 1 space. Okay, and chain 1. Alright, so for round 4, I promise guys, from here on out it's so easy. That what we just did was the hardest part. From here on out is easy peasy. Alright, so we have chain 1. Actually, you know what? We're going to stop for just a second, because what I want to do is I want to, if you look and see where your beginning tail is, which is, you know, that usually that first chain is going to be a little stretched. What I'm going to do is lay it down So now that the top of the little dress is facing me, I have a little cat here, and I mark the front. Oh, here it is. I just take that stitch marker and I'm gonna run it. I'm just gonna run it around a double, right like that. And the reason I do that is so I can always keep track of the front of my dress. Oh, I didn't bring the dang clothespin. Hold on just a second. I gotta go grab the clothespin. Okay, so now what I wanted to show you is that as you're working, you can always slide it on your clothespin, which it'll be a little tight. And then I always like to keep the front of the dress to the, you know, the open slit between the, you want to call them legs. So I use my clothespin to keep it to the front so I know how it's going to set in the little base. And just, I like to do it so I can keep track of how it looks, how long I want it, if I want it longer or shorter, you know, what have you. You don't have to mark the front. I just wanted to do that. There. Set my clothespin to the side. Alright, now we're going to start round 4. So we already slip stitched into that chain 2. We slip stitched into the first double crochet. I bumped my camera. Stop. Slip stitched into the first double crochet and then slip stitch again into that chain 2. And round 4, we're going to work 2 double. 1, 2, chain 2, and go right back in there with 2 double. Yeah, missed that. Did it again. Alright, and now we're going to repeat that all the way around. 2 double, chain 2, 2 double into each of the chain 2 spaces. So I'm going to call them shells. So we should have 15 shells when we're done. Chain 2, go right back in there with 2 doubles. In the next chain 2. 2 double, chain 2, back in there with 2 double. Come on. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys finish that, and I'm going to get mine done off camera. I'm going to work it all the way around till I get back to, I'm not going to work into that last chain 2. I'll come back right before I start that one, okay? Alright, I will be right back. Okay, so I just worked into that second to last chain 2. Here's my last. So I'm going to shell into there. I promise you guys, whenever I'm working on this off camera, I'm not slipping off of the thread as much as I am on camera. It's such a pain in the butt to film with thread in front of a camera. Alright, there's 1 double. 2 double, chain 2, go back in there with 1 double and 2 double. Alright, so now I have, I'm going to count my shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. I said that I was going to count my shells, but I think it'd be easier if I tell you guys, just look at the little chain 2 spikes. Right there is where you can tell each of your shells. Here, 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 and here. Alright? Okay, so that's the end of round 4, and we're going to work round 5. We're going to slip stitch to that very first double crochet right here. Right there is the little bitty slip stitch. Here is a chain 1, and the big one is the first double. So slip stitch right into that first double crochet, which is wanting to be a pain. There. Slip stitch into there. Gah. I split it. How on earth did I do that? How do you split thread? I messed up the whole last double crochet, so now I have to do them again. Two. Slip stitch to the top of the first. There. Okay, now slip stitch into that next double. My camera is messing up. Is it back? Okay, now we're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Chain 1. And we're going to repeat round 4. We're going to shell into each chain 2 space around. Slip stitch to your first, slip stitch to your second. You're gonna, basically what we're doing for round 5 is we're repeating round 4. We're just working into shells this time instead of V-stitches. So rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, so the next 6 rounds, you're gonna work shells into your chain 2s, okay? So that was round 4. So round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, do the same thing. Shell into each chain 2 space, make it all the way around, slip stitch to that first double, slip stitch to that next double, slip stitch into your chain 2. So basically what we're doing when we do that is moving where we're going to start, and we always want to start in the chain 2. So we slip stitch to the first, slip stitch into that next double, then slip stitch into the chain 2 space to get us, you know, to get us moved over there. All right, chain 1, start it all over again, okay? So we just did round 4. I'm going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 off camera, and I need you guys to keep your fingers crossed that I don't run out of thread, because I think I might run out of thread. I don't know. Which I realize by the time you guys see this, I'm going to already have it done, so crossing your fingers doesn't really make a lot of sense, but do it anyway for me. Alright, I will get my rounds done and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I just finished my 10th round. So if we look, that first row of shell is right here. You can see the little V-stitches. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I slip stitched to that first double crochet right here, not here, right there. I slip stitched in there. So what we're gonna do now is chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Well, there. Pull that out. Okay. So we have this part of the dress done. Now what we're going to do is work a round of a border on the bottom, and then we're going to do the wings and a halo, and we're done. So to start the border round, I'm going to get my white glittery that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to put a link in the description box if you guys want to order it or go get you some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a slip knot on my hook and make sure you have enough tail so we can weave it in. Get a slip knot, get my hook in there, and right into that, well, it doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to go right into one of the chain 2 spaces. I'm getting all tangled up here, wrapped around a pin. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, I am going to go right straight into one of the chain 2 spaces on the back of my dress, and I'm going to pull through, get that out of the way, work a slip stitch. I'm going to pull that tail, tighten up that slip stitch, and chain 1. And then right back into that same chain 1 space that I just attached, or chain 2 space that I just attached into, I'm going to work 5 double crochets, and I'm going to work over my tail. So that way when I'm weaving in my ends later, part of it's already done. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now what we're going to do is the space between our shells, we're just going to go right straight in there and work a single crochet. And then jump right jump right into that next double, or for Pete's sake, I can't get my words out. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to jump right into that next chain 2 space with 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come right down between those 2 shells and work a single. Go to the next chain 2 space with 5 double. So go ahead and repeat 5 double into the chain 2 space, single between the 2 shells. Work that all the way around. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will work mine off camera, and I will meet you guys when we get to the last stitch, okay? I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning. Be right back. Okay, I have worked all the way around. I shelled into that last, or I didn't shell, I worked 5 double crochets into that last chain 2. Now we're going to come down and single crochet into this last space. Now we're going to come up and into the first double crochet. We're going to work a slip stitch. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. About to fasten off. And we are done with that part. So I'm going to go ahead and take a minute to weave in all my ends, and when we come back we're going to work the wings and the halo, and we're done. So I will be right back. Alrighty, I've gotten all my ends weaved in, and let's get started on the wings. So I'm going to get my white again, get a slip knot on my hook. Alright, so I'm going to take my dress, I'm just going to open up a wing, and what I'm going to do, so if we look, let me get a needle to point here. If we look, get everything opened, we have the side of a double crochet right here, and then we have the top of a stitch where that double crochet is coming from. And then we have the top of double crochets. We have the top of the double crochet. This double crochet is coming from. The side of it, right? See the side of that double? And then here's where it comes from. We are going to attach around the side from the front of the dress with the front of the dress facing us. We're going to work into, this is my right side. We're going to attach around that double, the side of it, that post, and then work into the top of the doubles all the way around, come around this post of this double that's laying on its side, and then that first round will be done. Which I know that kind of didn't make any sense when you don't know what I'm getting ready to tell you to. Sorry. Alright, so what we're going to do is get your slip knot on your hook, pull it, bring your dress to you, and that double crochet right there. So this is the front of the dress, here's the wing. So if you see round 2, these double crochets right here, in the armpit of the wing right there, we're going to go around the post of that double crochet. I hope that makes sense. Hope you guys understand that. Alright, so we're going to slip stitch around that post, chain 1, go right back in there with a single, and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you can see, this is the double crochet that the post of the double crochet we just worked around is coming from. So we don't go into that. We want to go into the next one. The actual very next double crochet that's not worked into. We're going to single crochet into there. Chain 3. Single into the next double. Chain 3. Single into the next. Chain 3. Single into the next. Chain 3. Single into your next. Chain 3. Single. Chain 3. Single. Chain 3. Single into the next. Chain 3. There's 2 more full double crochets that we need to work into. And what I mean by when I say full is that they are not already worked into. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into this last double right here. Oop. Oh, for Pete's sake. Chain 3. Alright, now we unfold this a little because I got it all mashed up. We are going to work around the post of this double crochet right here that's laying on its side. Single crochet around there, chain 3, and then come over and slip stitch into that first chain 3 space and chain 1, pull up a loop, and now I'm going to stop to make sure we have 12 chain 3s all the way around that sleeve, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then that last one is 12. Perfect. Alright, now I'm going to get my hook back on here. Alright, so now we are going to single crochet right back into that same chain 3 space that we just slip stitched into. Chain 3 and single into the next chain 3. Chain 3, single into the next chain 3. We're just going to repeat that around, okay? So something that may help you not get lost. I had a stitch marker right here. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark that first chain 3 with a stitch marker. Okay? Alright, so work your single, chain 3, single, chain 3 all the way around, and I will meet you when I get to this last chain 3 space, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I worked that around. I single crocheted into this last chain 3, I chain 3, and now we're going to slip stitch to that first chain 3 space. Go right in there with a slip stitch, chain 1, and that was round 2. So for round 3 we're going to do the exact same thing. Go right back in there with the single crochet and chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So I'm going to stop and go ahead and mark my first one again. And chain 3, single into the next chain 3 space. So repeat that around again, and I'll meet you after I work into that last chain 3 space. Alrighty, so I made it around. I single crocheted into that last chain 3 space. So now I'm going to chain 3 and come up, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain 3 space. And that is the end of round 3. So our last round, we are going to chain 1 and go right back in there with a single crochet. Alright, so you can mark that first single, because the pattern we're getting ready to work, this first single crochet can get a little lost, so I'm going to mark it so I don't lose it. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to work, where's my other one? We're going to work this little scallop edge, okay? So to do that, alright, we just worked our single, so we're going to chain 3, yarn over, and come back down to that first chain. So I'm going to try to hold everything so I can show you your first chain. So here is the single crochet we marked. Right there is the first chain. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, go into the side loop of that first chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. So keep 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and go right back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And now we're going to come down and single crochet into that next chain 3. Single crochet. And we're going to start that over. Chain 3, yarn over, go back into the side loop of that first single, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, come down, go right back into that first chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 3, and then come down and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. And you can see how it gives us that little scallop edge. Okay, so chain 3, yarn over, go into that first chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, come down and single crochet into your next chain space. Alright, repeat that around, and when you get all the way around into that last chain, okay, that's where I'm going to come back and meet you, because it gets a little confusing to finish off the wing, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made it back around, and you can see I've already single crocheted into my second to last chain space, chain 3, worked my little cluster, and now I'm going to come down and single crochet into that last chain space, chain 3, yarn over, go into the first chain to start my cluster again, well, start my last cluster. Okay, so I made my last cluster. Now what we're going to do is come down and slip stitch into the first single crochet. So I just give my stitch marker a little bit of a tug so I don't get lost in my stitches, and I can see that single crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch to that. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And there is your wing. So when we unfold her, she's all bunched up, give everything a little bit of a tug. There is our first wing. That was the back of the dress. Here's the front. Okay, so you're going to repeat the exact same thing on this side. So if we unfold it, you can see, and I should have done this view earlier. Here's a side, like the post of a double crochet from round 2, and here's another one. You start, and it doesn't matter which one. Attach right into there with the slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet right back in there, chain 3, go to the next double, chain 3, next single into the next, chain 3, single into the next, all the way around, go into that very last one, chain 3, go around that last double crochet with a single, chain 3, slip stitch to your first. Okay, so just repeat that for your second wing, and I am going to get mine done off camera, and while I'm off camera I'm going to go ahead and weave in all the ends too. Okay, so get your ends weaved in and we'll do the halo and be done. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all those ends weaved in, got my second wing made, and I am going to go ahead and put this, still got my stitch marker to mark the front of my dress. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my clothespin, just like that. Alright, now I'm going to set that to the side and we're going to make the halo. Alright, so I'm going to use my dress color, get a slip knot on my hook, and we're going to start with chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come down to that first chain and slip stitch. And chain 1. And now I'm going to pull this down to tighten down that first chain, and right in there, quit focusing on my finger, right in there is the ring that we're going to be working into. And you're going to need your stitch marker to mark your first stitch, okay? But what we're going to do is work 8 single crochet into this ring. So I'm going to come down and just go right between all of them. Make sure you're working around that tail. And single crochet. Get my stitch marker. Mark that first single. Alright, that's 1. We need 8. Right in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so now I'm going to give this a tug so I don't lose that stitch, and we're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet. Get up. Come right in there and both loops, slip stitch, and chain 1. So I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to pull that tail tight to close up my ring. It's good enough. Alright, now what we are going to do is single crochet right back into that single crochet we just slip stitched into. So we're going to go right back in there with a single, and you can mark it if you want to. Chain 3, single into that next single crochet. Chain 3, single into that next single. Chain 3, single, chain 3, single, chain 3, single into the next, chain 3, single, chain 3, single. So that should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 3, single into your last single, and then we are going to chain 3 and come up and slip stitch to our first chain 3. Chain 1. For round 3, the last round, we're going to go right back in there with the single, chain 3, single into the next chain 3, chain 3, single into the next chain 3. Repeat that around. I'm just going to stay right here and keep working. 1, 2, 3. Give me some slack. Single, one, 2, 3, single, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, single, 1, 2, 3, single, 1, 2, 3, single into the last one, and then we should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was way off. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's okay. Chain 3. We're going to have 1 extra. Slip stitch to the first. Chain 1, pull up loop, and we're done. And that is our little halo. I'm looking through the camera so I can't see what I need to grab. Alright, I am going to weave in my 2 ends. And I'll be right back. Okay, I've gotten all those ends weaved in. So now I'm going to bring back my little doll. Well, I'm going to pull you guys out a little bit. There we go. Alright, now I still have my stitch marker on there because I still want that to be the front of the dress, so that way when I glue this little halo on, I know that'll be to the back of the doll, right? Okay, so I want to glue on my halo with the right side of the stitches to the back of the doll. So the back of my single crochets are going to go on the doll's head, okay? On the clothespin's head, I should say. Just like that. So what I'm going to do is put a little dollop of my Fabric-Tac right in the middle of the halo. Trying to wipe off any excess that's on the bottle. And then just move my wings out of the way. I'm going to try to have it to where the little knot from me weaving in my end, which I realize you guys can't see that well, is to the bottom of the halo. And then just hold it on there for a few seconds. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, which it could take a good minute, minute and a half. I want to make sure it's fully dried. You guys can see what it looks like. Alright, so while that is drying, I'm going to take my ribbon, 1/8 inch, and I am going to peel off the little protector. Now I'm going to use my bigger needle, cat hair. I'm going to use my bigger needle and just thread it on one end. I'm not going to cut the ribbon yet, and the reason it's funny, the reason I'm not going to just cut me a length of ribbon is because I cannot stand to waste ribbon. So like these thread ends, that it doesn't bother me, it's just thread, right? But ribbon is expensive. It's not cheap. So if I was to cut a big old length, let's say a foot off, and what we're gonna do is weave it around and then tie it in a bow. Is that not a perfect little bow? I did that earlier. I was so proud of that. Anyway, so if I was to cut a foot length, right, and we weave it around the angel, and I tie it into a little bow, and I get the bow nice and pretty, but I've got like that much, you know, too much on the little strands of the bow, and then I have to cut it off, and then I just wasted this much ribbon. Drives me insane. I hate that. Which I know it sounds funny, but it drives me insane. So what I do, see how dry, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit longer. What I do is I take my needle that's got my ribbon on it, and I just go ahead and weave it around, bring it to the front where I started, tie it in a bow, get the bow adjusted just right, then cut it off. So that way I'm not wasting a big old chunk. Okay, so I'm actually going to pause my video, and I'm going to let this set for a little bit because I want to make sure this is nice and dried on here and it's not going anywhere, okay? So I am going to be right back. Okay, so it's pretty dry. It ain't going anywhere. So I am going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out. Alright, so what we want to do is we are going to run the ribbon, we're going to weave it in and out of the double crochets from round 2. So right here, all these double crochets are from round 1, and right here is from round 2. So I want to go in right where I want my bow to set, and I want it to set straight in the middle. So I want it to set right there, okay? So I'm going to weave it in and out of the double crochets from round 2. Now I'm just going to go right through the wing and come out where round 2 is. And it doesn't bother me if my ribbon gets twisted. If it don't, it don't. If it does, it does. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so right here is round 2, so I'm just going to keep going in and out, and you don't have to do every single double crochet. You can skip to I'm gonna go through. Make sure you're coming out on round 2. Oh, dang it. Came right off. Where was I? Let's go here, here, here. Come out on round 2. And then in and out. So right now what I want to do is make sure my ribbon comes out at the exact same spot where it's coming out right here. So I'm going to go in and come out right there. Now I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tug back this way, get rid of some of that slack. Alright, and now lay it down and I'm going to tie it in a bow the best I can. Those of you that watch all my videos know I get so aggravated because I cannot tie a pretty bow. Okay, so bring that in a little, bring this in a little. Dang, I'd say that was pretty nice for my first go. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm pulling on these tails because I want these, you know, like the actual little bow parts to be a nice length. So about right there. And I'm holding down on these tails the best I can. And the way I found that I can do it is take my hook and set it there and then hold my hands on the hook to hold the legs of the bow down, and then I grab the bow and pull on the ears just like that. Okay, it's a tad bit big still. I'm gonna call it good there. I'm done messing with it. Alright, so now I'm gonna just, on an angle, I'm gonna cut here, and on an angle cut here. It's a nice bow. Okay, and then just to double secure it, I'm gonna put a little drip. I gotta wait for it to get to the bottom of the bottle, or at the top I should say. Just put a drop there and a little drop there. Hold that down. And you guys can see what I was talking about when I said how much ribbon you waste when you do it the way I showed you. Like, that's all I'm gonna waste instead of, you know, 2 strands that long, instead of wasting that much. I know it's it's silly, but it drives me nuts to waste ribbon. I can't stand doing that. So then I just wrap it back up, take that back down, and there we go. Alright, so there, let me get her all nice and presentable. I'm going to pause this for just a second. There. Now I have it to where you can see all 3 of them. Are they not the cutest things? Okay, so I am actually going to attach a little laminated piece of paper with this little guardian angel poem. I haven't made one yet, although by the time you watch this, you will have already seen it in the intro that I've made them. I just haven't done it yet. But what the little poem says, "Your guardian angel, you may see me as huge, you may see me as small. I'm right by your side and will hear when you call. I'm loyal and true, you can trust me to care. I'm your guardian angel, I'll always be there." I think that is adorable. Anyway, so all I did was just, I'm going to type it up, or maybe, I don't know, I might write it and then just laminate it and maybe attach it to the back or something like that. We'll see. I don't know yet. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching my tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up button if you did, and subscribe too, because I got all kinds of good tutorials coming. And you'll get a notification so you never miss it. To get the notifications, click that bell and then click all, and then you'll get a notification for everything that I do. Video posts, any of my videos. Alright, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and then down below in my description box there are some links for you guys. There'll be links to the little clothespin with the base, the thread, and then the ribbon. And then leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And that's it, guys. That's all from me. Hugs to all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.